We need to do more.
No, and we appreciate it. It's people like you that come and see that and kind of realize, man, there's this whole world out there.
It's a whole world.
And that, like I said, you're gonna feel it. You feel the energy. You feel what it is. I mean, it's amazing.
Aloha, how's it everybody? Keiki here from Hawaii Entrepreneurs, and today we have a killer, awesome guest. We brought on Micah in the house. Mikes, say what's up, bro, real quick.
How's it everybody? My name is Micah Kalama, and I'm super excited to be here. So thanks Hawaii Entrepreneurs for having me today as your guest.
No worries, guys. Here at Hawaii Entrepreneurs, this is the place where we connect, collaborate, and create with the top business people, top influencers, top artists. Micah is one of the top guys right now doing a killer event for our canoe racing. Guys, if you guys haven't met him, I'm gonna do a quick intro right now on Micah Kalama. Micah Kalama here. I got some notes, and real quick with Hawaii Entrepreneurs, all of our podcasts, Micah already knows, 100% real, no cuts, no edits, no BS, just real, upfront, authentic.
No nothing.
No nothing. We just coming in with it, all right?
Let's go.
So I got some notes here, Micah. You tell me if I'm wrong or if I missed anything.
No worry, go ahead.
So Micah Kalama, he is running the Aloha Aito 6th annual race. It is the rudderless one-man canoe race, the largest one in the islands, and he is doing some awesome stuff. His ohana, his family is all watermen. Pops, if I remember correctly, is one of the last standing guys out there doing real deal canoe making from the core log, yep, bringing them over here and jamming that thing out, right?
Right.
Guys, you guys are gonna be in for it today. So Micah Kalama, one of the things with Micah, I know he's from the east side, but Micah, tell us a little bit about you, brah. Where does the ohana come from, and what you been up to, brah?
Yeah, right on. Again, thanks for having me. I'm born and raised from Waimanalo, Oahu, and my
God's country. God's country.
But both my parents are from the east side. Both born and raised Waimanalo and Kailua, Oahu. So most of my family resides from there. But my grandpa, my dad's side is from Big Island. Some of my mom's side is from Maui and from here as well. But just a bunch of local people from different parts of the island. And like you said earlier, just everything 100% local.
That's what I like about it, and that's what Hawaii Entrepreneurs is about: keeping it local, keeping it real. And you mentioned being from Maunalo. I gotta give a shout out though to our sponsors, Mike's.
Yeah.
So I gotta shout out Keiko Capital and the entire team, because guys, without them, we wouldn't have this awesome studio, wouldn't be able to bring this to life. So big shout out to Keiko Capital. And one more thing I gotta add, what you guys are gonna be hearing here throughout the episode is this Chihu button.
Let's go.
I put this Chihu button in because Hawaii Entrepreneurs is meant to bring people that are doing amazing things and bring them to light. I wish I had somebody showing me the way. Micah, don't you wish you had somebody like at least helping you out, bro?
No, I think so, but I found that a little bit later on, and we're gonna get into that, I think, in the future on exactly why we're being able to do the things we're doing now, especially at my age, right? Almost 40 years old, and I'm
young,
able to...
handsome brother still though, huh? Look at this guy. But anyway, the Chihu button, this is gonna be pushed, meaning you guys need to pay attention, you guys need to listen up, all right? Because Micah is doing some amazing things, and this is what it's about: bringing local people together and showing what he's done and how you can do it too, all right? So Mike's classic local boy, right, from the east side. Guys, sorry if you hear that background noise. This is one take here, so you might hear some cars driving by and everything. We're just going for it, right? All right, so classic local boy from the east side. How does the ohana get into canoe racing, canoe making? Actually, let's get more deeper into that, bro, because I think a lot of our local people know that racing canoe is important. Micah, how important is canoe racing to you and your family, and how you believe it is for the whole community, bro?
That's a really good question, but I think I can give you a really good answer to that. And for me, I'm very fortunate. I've been, like you said, I grew up on the east side. I come from a background of watermen and women, and for both of my parents, I was able to get into the ocean a lot early than most people. I was I was around canoe building and paddling and fishing and Hawaiian food and local everything. And I was super fortunate to have that type of upbringing. So for me, it's been, it's in my blood, canoe building, paddling, the ocean, and just everything that brings our culture and brings it all together. I'm very fortunate. So for me, it's in my blood. But for those that maybe weren't grown or born into canoe paddling or even in the ocean side, there is a huge connection if you ever do try to paddle or if you become part of the community, because paddling is much more than jumping in a canoe and paddling a vessel around or a va'a around. But paddling it's a lifestyle. It's like you said, it's a community that allows everyone to come together. It's not just a paddler. It comes from the canoe builder, the guy that's trailering the canoes, the mom and dad who's making the kids their breakfasts in the morning, early morning. It's prepping the night before. It's getting all of your equipment together. I mean, paddling is more than just you being in a canoe. It's a lot more than that, and it's super important for other people to understand and you maybe witness it, because you've been to our previous Aloha Aito.
I did, bro.
And we'll get more into that I think in a little bit, but just to circle back to your question involving the community, I mean, there's so much that we can say right here on this podcast and when we want to talk about being authentic and raw. I just spent the last from 5:30 a.m. this morning, and I just got here. It's 2:45. I literally spent the whole day literally coaching paddling, fixing boats, getting things back on the water, and coaching. It's taking the whole day up, and it didn't come from that. It's my parents going down to the halau, opening up, cleaning the area of the halau. Like, we had that huge storm that just came in, so there's debris and rubbish all over. And these are the things when you talk about what paddling really actually is. It's bringing the community together and making everything right, like fixing things and all of that. So there's so much we're gonna get into today.
I love that, and Micah, being a part of the community, but even being here, being local, being Hawaiian, being a part of the Polynesian Islands, bruh. I've talked to you before about it, but bruh, talk to me about that, because you mentioned building a community, but let's just be real, bruh. Without these canoes, without being able to navigate and paddle, shit, we might not even be here, bruh. I mean, real life, right?
Yeah, no, you're
Hawaiian's not gonna be. Hawaiian's not here.
Yeah, I think you're really spot on when we talk about that, and it is a interesting topic to bring up on. Yeah, like, how did we get here? And I said that I was thinking about that before I got here. We got here, on a vessel, sailing. So even like canoe paddling, it comes really from the canoe builder, and I'm super fortunate to have my dad, David Kalama, who is master canoe carver, and he'll never claim that title, because he would always ask, he would put it out there, like, what consists of a master canoe carver these days? Like, what really consists of a master canoe carver? And it's interesting because I was fortunate enough to hear all the names, meet all the uncles and friends that maybe canoe build now. And really, when you talk about actually cutting a log from the forest, bringing it down, rough cutting it,
Let's back up though, okay? Because cutting the log down, I don't think these guys understand.
Yeah.
Like, when you say, Micah, cutting a log, we're not talking about 10 foot. You cannot do nothing with the 10. I mean, you probably can. You probably can, but the core wood that Micah is talking about, can you describe that, Mikes?
I mean, realistically, when you're thinking about it, it's not as common today as it was maybe give or take 50 years ago, but a koa tree, you're definitely going to want to select one that's well over 50, 60 feet. I mean, you're cutting down some trees as much as 100 foot tall. To build a racing canoe with the type of specs that are put in place nowadays is about 45 feet long, probably closer to about anywhere between 18 to 20 inches wide to sit in, and then of course hollowing it out. And
how long does that take, bro? Because you can take so long for finding a tree, right? I think there's a waiting list, Mike.
Yeah,
isn't that what you said? There's like a waiting list just to
you want to talk about being authentic and raw. We're talking about this is something that's been a part of my family for years now, right? My great grandpa, my grandpa, my dad, my dad's brother.
Is this mom's side or dad's side?
My dad's side.
Dad's side.
Yeah, dad's
okay.
side. So
we're talking about 3-4 generations, bro.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Easy.
And like when we were talking about this, it's super interesting because there's a lot of really good woodworkers out there, and
I'm sure.
and there is people that are taking part in canoe building.
Yeah.
And it's a small. When we talk about small percentage, we're talking about you can count builders right now probably that would be classified, maybe in my opinion and maybe not in somebody else, as master canoe carver. I don't think you can name 5 real master canoe carvers in Hawaii realistically, and I'm being as transparent as I can because people gotta realize that's a dying breed, and that's as heavy as it gets. This is a dying breed, just like when we talked about our language dying.
Yep.
Right. But if there was a revival, and so you ask me like, what does it mean to me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm watching something die, and if I don't do this, I think that's when I found out this is my purpose. This is my calling. Like if I don't do this, if I don't do this, like who knows what's gonna happen? And then
absolutely.
And like you said, like if you look
at chicken skin, bro. You're seeing that, bro. I'm getting chicken skin right now.
And then you look at it the way that I'm trying to portray this to everybody else is everybody is worried about the language dying. But for me, I'm worried about canoe building dying, or just the respect that should be given to all of these founders. All of you that race, I'm looking at everybody that races a canoe today. All of you guys have an obligation to really understand why you're in a canoe. And for me, I have to say it because nobody's saying it out there. Not one person is going over there and saying, you better go thank that grandpa, or that older uncle that got you in a canoe, because he knows the history.
Yeah.
He knows that somebody took the time to, set the precedence for us to canoe race.
Yeah.
And canoe racing is awesome. What an unreal experience. This is what I do. I love it. But there's a deeper side to that. And it's the respect that needs to be given to all of the founders, all of the guys who came before. Not just the one guy who published the book. And I'm saying that straight truth. That's like the same thing that happened in Hawaiian language. Not the guy that just published the book. It's those people that they published the book on.
Yeah.
They wrote the story about this other guy, but don't honor the guy that wrote the book. I mean, respect that, but respect who he wrote it about.
I like that.
And that's one of those things that it's a deeper perspective. And I get super passionate about it.
I can tell
because when you talk to an audience, they don't understand, what you go through. Your family went through years and years. Okay, you're talking about people that build canoes, but you get one wood maker able to go get one koa log, Martin MacArthur or whatever, and they're making fortunes off of that, right? Off of one koa log.
The watch,
the ottoman or whatever, the dresser, and
the desk,
and beautiful work.
Yeah,
amazing,
nice.
amazing, and and no disrespect to that, because even coming from my dad's side, as his business or his profession is a carpenter, right? He's a foreman boss for a construction company. He was with Coastal Construction for a really long time, and his carpentry is unmatched. I've seen him build unreal things, just with his hands. But that also comes from his understanding with working with wood and canoe carving and things. But when we talk about it, right, that's the perspective that I would like to get the audience to understand, is the appreciation that needs to be given to the people that came before us. And we're not talking about the 50-year-old, and no disrespect to the 50-year-old, because I'm almost 40. And
getting up there, bro.
And I don't want somebody to look at me and say, "Oh, you're the guy that did all these things." I'm not that guy. It's my grandpa. My grandfather, my dad's brother who just passed away. It's Uncle Philip Naone. It's all of these other people that came before. Uncle Eddie Kanana. It's on and on kind of things that need to be said and maybe not given. And that's the truth. And I put it out there to other people, because you might have the respect for that person right now, but that person right now better be saying, hey, it was so-and-so that taught me this, or so-and-so. And that's where Hawaiian, the idea of the whole Aloha side with Hawaiian, giving the respect where it belongs, treat the elders and give them their time. Your time is gonna come. One day I'm gonna be, hopefully I make it to 60, 70 years old, and then that's my time. But
Yeah.
right now is like, it's my time to say, you know what, I better not let this die, because I only get 5 people, right, that I can say, and I'm like, oh, what happens when no more? Gonna get 4, 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, pow.
Yep, and the one person in life I think that's undefeated, and I heard this the other day, is Father Time, bro.
Father Time?
Father Time is undefeated. Mike, I just got up. and I say that because I don't know if I've told you this, but my mom and my family guys used to paddle, bro.
Yeah.
They paddled in Canoe.
Right.
And I remember as a kid, bro, my mom's like, Kenny, go paddle. She always, you know, and my auntie, my uncle, everybody paddled, and
Right.
I don't know. I never like paddle, bro, and I feel terrible.
No,
and I'm like you're talking to me over there, like
No,
shit.
so-
I gotta step up, bro. Shit.
But that's the truth, and what's interesting is I found my purpose a lot later in life. You know, I was around paddling as a kid my whole life. I was around paddling. I was, you know, I'd hear the sander going off. I would hear the saws going off. I would, you know, watch my dad put in patches on canoes. I would see, you know, I would see the process, and I was around it as a kid, baby. I was, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
I was raised by all of the paddlers down there, like at Canoe or at Ko'olau or wherever my parents were at the time. And, you know, I was raised by paddlers, you know. And it wasn't just me, I had a twin brother, right? So you'd see my dad holding both of us, right, at all the canoe races. And then when we got older, we was running around, but paddling actually wasn't as, I want to say I didn't paddle when I was a younger kid. I started paddling in my 20s.
How come? Why, bro?
So, yeah, I mean, it's, I guess in a sense, my parents, you know, didn't think that, and it's the truth, you know, you couldn't make a living off of paddling. You was going to be a broke person. You know, you was going to be broke. You
work hard. It's hard work, bro. That's why you gotta take the canoes, clean the canoes, put them away, make sure nobody steal your canoe.
100%.
All of that.
And anybody that's a part of a paddling family will understand this. And any of you that actually get involved with a paddling community and hears stories like this, there's definitely going to be a lot of similarities, right? But you're not going to get, the whole thing was you're not going to get rich off of paddling. You know, you just don't. But there was a way to get rich off of paddling. It was go pop a mold off of a canoe, start pumping out a bunch of fiberglass boats and calling it your own, and then selling it and making a spec. And this is a subject that I don't want to touch, because again, I'm not here to, I don't want to disrespect any of that. Because paddling is supposed to be a community that comes together and thrives together. But my father, my grandfather, they were the type of people. My grandpa was, you know, I used to hear stories when I was a kid growing up. My grandpa would make koa canoes, make them. And my dad was one baby at the time. And they would go around and teach clubs, right? My grandpa would build a canoe, go take it to a club, teach them how to use it, and then he would either just give it away, loan them. I'm not even kidding.
Free?
I'm
give it away for free, Michael?
Free or
but this is the real deal one.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
And this is, you know, you got to think about it. You're talking about
how much, just to give these guys an idea, how much does, because when you're gonna build a koa one, a koa canoe, you want to do a one man, or you want to do like if it was a nice big piece to use the most of it, Michael.
Most of it you're gonna try and make a 6-man.
A 6-man. Okay, 100%. So let's give the viewers an idea. 6-man canoe.
Yeah.
Koa, right? Buying this bugger, buying it, and then having unks, your dad, shape this thing. How much would something like that cost? After end, when they're like, okay, you know, we're going to sell this thing.
I mean, right now, let's just say a club has a koa canoe, just maybe not refurbished, but just has one.
Okay.
You know, a 45-foot canoe. I mean, they're selling them, man, whatever the price is, whatever you want to sell it for at this point.
Wait, what does that mean? Like, what is that 6 figures? Is it 100,000? Is it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
100,000?
100,000.
They're not going to blink at that. Somebody going to buy them for that.
Yeah. Because there's not many out there, right?
Wow.
There is, but there isn't. You know, there is, but there isn't. You know, koa isn't as accessible as it was in the 50s and 60s and 70s. By the time it hit maybe the 2000s, koas was being limited. Koa forests were being, you know, protected and awesome, you know, and the whole idea to protect it, but also to continue and perpetuate the culture. And this is the side where even the viewers that are watching, you know, come tell me how to get on koa log. I mean, I've asked plenty people.
Yeah?
I've asked.
And what's the dead end? What's the dead end? What are they telling you?
The dead end is you gotta sign. You gotta go on one paper. You gotta fill out one form. It's like being on Hawaiian Homes. You gotta go fill out one paper.
Waiting list.
And this is, and I've tried. They send out like email blasts to all the canoe clubs. Oh, like there's a forestry green. So my way to propose things to people in a position of authority or power, because I don't have that, right? I don't have a title that says senator. I don't have a title that says governor or anything.
Yep.
And I'm not saying they can do it for you, but what I'm saying is there is people, I think, in a position that could help us or help canoe clubs and man, they talk about all these things like, oh, we know where to go and how to, fill out. So you fill out the form. I filled out a form maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
I've never heard anything back, but I filled out a form.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Wait, relax.
Bro, that's crazy because...
So I filled out a form that basically said, we're a part of this. So the most prevalent koa right now is on Big Island. Okay. And of course, we're not on Big Island, and I respect the fact that I'm not on Big Island, but, my grandfather's from Miloli'i, and their family is, very rooted on Big Island, and I got family there too, right? Yep. So it's not like I don't have family, but, we asked, right? And a part of it is, here's the problem. And it goes back from, again, years and decades. We're talking about ranch owners. We're talking about people that all of a sudden ended up with 2,000 acres. And here's another story, and it's not fake. It's just real. I've seen the paperwork. My dad's grandma, my great grandma, owned like 1,000 acres, right? And everyone, our families, plenty of the Hawaiian families back, before the Mahele or even after, had quite a bit of land. This is Hawaii. This is Hawaiian lands. Right. Back then, now just like Uncle Sam, right? They gotta come in and they gotta own a portion of something. And it came as simple as, oh, you own all this land? You're this Hawaiian lady, she never spoke English, never knew how to read and write, but somehow the land that she used to live on, transferred, gone, and it's again. I think we all can. I think we all understand. Touchy subject, it is for sure. It is for everybody. But it's a reality. But when you talk about one take, this is a reality of what's happened. In 100 years. Yeah. Okay, we're talking 100 years, right? If I'm 40, your parents are in their 60s. Yeah. Your grandparents were in their 90s. Your great grandparents are 100 plus years now. Mm-hmm. So in 100 years, I mean, really, when you really look around, 100 years. You had something and now you have nothing.
I think everybody can, like, anybody who has the 100 years history has a story like
or
this.
Heard one.
Sure. Because and here's the thing, right, that I want to talk about. You want to be authentic. Like, we all can say negative stuff about all of this.
Sure.
Right? And we all can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And I might take heat for this too, but at the bottom line, like, what are you doing about it though?
But that's a true. So even for me,
but at least you're doing, Michael. That's why I want you here. Like, you're doing something. Yeah. So right.
So how do you navigate this whole situation?
Okay.
And the only way that I see navigating the situation is looking at the things you can control.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that.
So going and slowing it back down and bringing it down to workable levels, right?
What we can do,
right?
What's
without
tangible.
Just saying all the things like I'm doing, right? I'm saying all these things that happened, and I mean, I'm not lying about the situations or anything like that. What I'm trying to do now is saying, okay, there is something I can control. If there's only 5 canoe builders that I know of left, and I don't want to see it go any less than 5, then I better start doing something. So that's why we're here, right?
That's why we have the Aloha Aito.
The Aloha Aito that's coming up. But the progress that I think I've made as just an individual has been impactful on a bigger scale, because now the community is much aware.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about all these things, so what are you doing to make this better? Well, one, I'm educating people on what it was like for us. How did we lose it? And if we can't get it back, how do we maintain what we have now and hopefully look for a better future?
Love that.
So that's where we're at. So, Aloha Aito.
Aloha Aito comes into play. And if you guys have heard enough, or if you guys haven't heard enough, you guys are gonna hear more. Micah, can we tell them where they can follow you, bro? Because you guys might be out there and seeing standing up and getting hot and getting like, bro, I'm like kind of upset a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm not upset, but I'm like, bro, I need to help.
Yeah.
I need to help. What can I do? Micah, where can they find you, bro?
So you can find us on a bunch of platforms.
What is the 2 platforms you can find you on, Micah, and get direct connection with, bro?
So number 1 would be on Instagram. Under our Rudderless Hoiva'a. It's Instagram, Rudderless Hoiva'a. It's our nonprofit. It's our canoe program that we have. So it is a racing competitive program for youth, novice and advanced paddlers, as well as canoe building. And then you can find me under Micah Kalamo Official on Instagram as well for my own personal IG. And then as well as Facebook and all the other platforms, it's all underneath my name. And as well as, if you want to find more information, you can find a little bit more details on our website, just Rudderless Hoiva'a. You guys can look it up on Google, it'll come right up.
Look, guys, if you guys want to stand up, you guys want to help a good cause, when good brother doing something great, non-profit right here, hit him up. He's actually, before we go there, Mike, I just want to ask one more question before we go to the Aloha Aito, okay? Because as you guys can see, Micah's super passionate, bro. That's what we're going to do here, get people who's passionate and making moves and doing something, right? That's what Hawaii Entrepreneurs is born. I'm tired of seeing all my family move, right? I mean, Micah, I think you can agree with me too. When we talk about watermen, we are the watermen. Local people, we're the watermen. Canoe racing, surfing, right?
I mean,
we started that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at things right now in the world, right? The only thing that connects every single person in this world is going to be an ocean, right?
Absolutely.
Not land, but ocean. And, if you can figure a way to, we use the ocean to, sustain ourselves, to travel, to, trade and barter and do all of those things and grow as people. If you want to be a part of something great, this is a great opportunity to see the realness. And I think that's what happened with us over this past few years.
I'll tell you right now, what's happened when I went to go see it for the first time, bro, last year. Because last year we kind of helped out a little bit.
Right.
But, bruh, seen all of Keiki, seen brothers from Tahiti, seen people from all over this world come here. I mean, you can't help but, I went with my son there and he was just having a ball, but you can't help to be freaking proud. Like I was bro, I'm like, so I was like, and this guy couldn't even say what's up because he was busy, but I mean, I was proud to be Hawaiian, to be there and to be a part of something that has been going on for generations and forever, bro. So look, we started surfing, we started canoe paddling. I mean, Micah, tell them a little bit about your aspirations of where you think canoe paddling can go. Because Aloha Aito is one step, and we still haven't got there. We will, okay? But I want them to hear what your vision is on canoe racing and what it can be for the world, bro.
I mean, if you look at the things right now, worldly, canoe racing, I'm sure like it's been talked about in the Olympics kind of deal. There is I would say international side already that's progressed to like more of like a world championship type of thing. But just in Hawaii in general, I think growing the community, especially people that are not from Hawaii. This is probably one of the best ways to immerse yourself into the culture.
I was just gonna say that.
Without feeling like there's a prejudice toward you, because there's, and I'm gonna be straight up, because there's a lot of people that don't give people a chance. And that's one thing that I think you'll find with us. If you're gonna talk about showing aloha, being aloha, well, you know what? It's not somebody else's fault for moving here. It's not. It's unfortunate for some of us that maybe that person that moving here, is taking the opportunity, but it's not their fault. But there is something you can do. You can teach them about Hawaii
respect
and culture.
Yes, there you go.
And like that's again trying to make sure you can control what you can control. So show them, and it's not like a hard love kind of way. I'm talking about immerse them.
Genuinely.
Canoe paddling, right? You can get immersed in the culture so instantly. Just by being in a club that actually gives that realness to what our culture really is. There's so much about paddling that can teach you. So when you say stuff like that, man, go ahead, invite the person from Virginia, because you know what, that person gonna show you so much more aloha one day when they actually realize what
you
you're about.
did for them, right?
What you're about.
What you did for them. I think the one thing that I've learned, bruh, is I felt way better about myself in any situation is when I help somebody, bruh. Like I was in it for a long time. I think I was in it for myself, right? And this is before,
I think we all are.
Yeah, and I think that's like nobody wants to talk about it.
No,
bruh.
so when you said that, it's the instant thing that came to my mind is when I look at all the things that I'm a part of.
Yep.
They're all voluntary. I don't get paid to do this.
Right.
I don't get paid
to run.
Again, like paddling is not a money making thing.
You said it.
It will never make you. You'll lose
broke,
the money.
Right?
Yeah. It's not like something like, oh, guys, come be a paddling coach. You're gonna go make millions of dollars. No, what you get out of it is the sense of the community, about giving what you know to people and sharing that with them. Because you're right, that's the rewarding side.
Yeah.
Not the paycheck.
No.
And it's so crazy. I mean, there was an uncle, Uncle Saul. It's one thing that sticks in my mind. He would said something like, "What kind of Hawaiian are you? Are you this kind of Hawaiian, or are you this kind of Hawaiian? Which one are you?"
Wait, hold it up so they can see. Hold it up because I think the computer might have been blocking.
No, it's true.
Yeah, do it.
He said, "Are you this kind of Hawaiian, right? Or are you this kind of Hawaiian? Do you want the money, or are you just willing to put your hand down and just go help somebody? Pick them up."
I love that.
Like, you this Hawaiian, or are you this Hawaiian? Like, I remember him saying that. And I was young. I would think I was like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And it stuck in my head ever since then.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of examples out there from Hawaiians, and these are people that are super respected in the Hawaiian culture, and that's the kind of person you want to be like. Because I never be like this guy. I don't want to be this guy. Because that guy is a target from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I just
Not
want to be
only that, I don't think it feels good, but when you give, genuinely
it's
give,
the greatest feeling ever.
Bruh, it's the greatest.
Serving, when some people are very spiritual and religious, but when you say serving people, I mean, man, it's something. Because like you said, when you go to Aloha Aito, and I'm pretty proud of it. You gotta be, right? You gotta be proud of the things that you, all the things that you stand for and the things that you put a lot of effort in. You gotta be proud of it.
Yep.
Whether it turns out awesome or if it folds, it's okay. You gotta be proud of the fact that you're the one putting in the effort, because nobody else is.
Absolutely. I just want to touch it again, guys. I think the only time I felt good and when things started to change for me is when I just really genuinely wanted to help people. And Mike, ever since I've met you, bro, all you've been is like, bro, what can I do? How can I help? And I'm like, shucks, I don't know, bro. I don't even know what we're doing. I don't think we've had those conversations before.
No, we haven't had those ones.
But nonetheless, Micah, bro, helping people is what we're about. You've been doing it for as long as I've known you, and your family's been doing it forever, bro. So, look, I'm gonna get to Aloha Aito, but you mentioned something when we started this. You said, your passion didn't come to light a little bit later. So talk to us, Mike. Can you tell the peeps, bro, like what you was doing before when you were just kind of maybe just dipping and diving, or what was it, bro?
I was super fortunate. So basically, coming out of high school, my twin brother and I.
Hold on. We need to know, Michael. What high school did Michael Kalama go to?
I was super fortunate. I went to Iolani High School. So my twin brother and I went to Iolani High School.
But still had roots in Wamanalo. So we gotta let them know that. Yeah.
Still roots. Me and my brother were probably the most country out of all of our classmates, and it's no joke. I mean, I grew up with horses, cows, pigs, ducks. I grew up on a farm, right?
You're in Wamanalo, bro. So that place is country already,
I was deep rooted, bro.
Yeah.
And then of course I'm one fair skin Hawaiian. But I mean, trust, I can turn on my professional voice, but the just comes out. I cannot help. I just cannot, But the truth is, my brother and I were super fortunate. Like I said, paddling wasn't gonna make my parents rich or any means like that. So they did the best they could, Growing up, we weren't rich or anything. We were fortunate enough to have the lifestyle we had. I mean, I didn't realize how rich I really was in that lifestyle. Cause man, I learned. Me and my brother on a whole nother level learned so much being raised with all these types of animals, and I was super fortunate for that because, you know, my life skills, and I wasn't scared to get dirty or any of that, you know, and you gotta have a little bit of that, especially with this type of world.
Yep.
But man, I was fortunate. I played every sport you could think of. My parents decided for me and my brothers, you know, to get us into sports. So, you know, I started off.
Let's talk about your brothers, because you said brothers with an S. So you have a twin brother, Mike, right? How much siblings do you have? What does that look like, bro?
Man, I got 2 older sisters. I got a twin brother and a younger brother. And so there's 5 of us, and my parents have like about 100 Hanai brothers and sisters that I have.
Well, when you on farm, everybody coming over, right?
Coming over.
So mom not rich, dad's not rich, don't have tons of money, right? But rich in family, just rich in culture,
rich in everything in other ways that and you know what, they did everything they could to get me and my brothers and my sisters, you know, things that we needed in just life. You know, and we were super till this day they're still doing that, you know. And
love it.
And you know, like I was just joking with them the other day, you know, I'm lucky I don't live with them, but you know, they're willing to be that type of people, especially if things got hard, man. I can't tell you how many different families lived with my parents at their place in Waimanalo, years in and years out. That's just the kind of people they were, and they weren't rich, but they showed me what it's like to really give back to people and take care of people and love people. Deep, bro.
That's really what local people is, bro.
And it's everyone, but my parents were good at that. They're great at that.
Absolutely, bro. If you got people living there, Mike, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But that's the local style, right?
Yeah.
We want to bring people in. We want to help them as much as we can. And look, Mike, you're doing it, bro. So, you know, out of high school, you know, not the richest out there, rich in spirit, rich in what you're doing. So Aloha Aito comes along, bro. Yeah. Right? Well, how did you get...
So actually, like, so even like right out of high school, I played college soccer. So I went to California, played some college ball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then, man, incredible. There's about 3 freshmen that made the team, me and my brother, another kid from Maui, but just great experience to go to California.
We have what it takes, guys. We have what it takes.
No, and then so I was lucky. I had a college education. You know, I got my degree at Chaminade, and I just kept pursuing education. Got another degree online with Phoenix. Got another, you know, so I actually I lived a lot of different opportunities in education. I just kept pursuing education as a way to, I wanted to say, do the things that I think my parents really wanted us to do. Just get the education. That was one of the most important things as a kid growing up, because they realized, you know, if we got educated, who knows, maybe I could have been a doctor, lawyer, right? Which I didn't.
Yeah.
And then I'll be honest, you know, when you say to be honest, man, I was so fortunate. I ended up with a really couple good jobs right out of college, and man, just spent my early or my late teens and early 20s just enjoying life. I traveled all over the world. I bodyboarded all over the world. I competed on all the local circuits here.
And Micah's good, bro, by the way. That's how I met Micah, because my younger brother is like, bro, that's all my younger brother does. Yeah. He lives in Kauai right now, and he just kills it. He kills it. But he's showing me pictures at like 7 a.m. and I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be working. This guy's in the back of his truck. So that's actually how I met Micah. When my brother Canoe was like, hey, bro, you gotta go meet my friend Micah, because he's doing a bunch of cool stuff. And and dude, like, as you can tell, straight waterman. Right.
They couldn't get me out of. So my parents tried to keep me away from the water, and I was the only one who was like, you know what?
I'm coming back.
I couldn't get enough of being in the ocean. But so long story short, you know, I spent a lot of my years, obviously in collegiate sports, and then kind of turning into the whole. I was like, you know what? Bodyboarding, bro. It's like, I could do this. I could travel the world. I'm like, I'm gonna go do this. So I started competing on local circuits, but I actually did a lot of free surfing. But with that free surfing is because I did have a good job and I was able to travel. So that was my life for a good, man, like 8 years of competitive everything. But
did you make it, bro? Did you make it? Did you get sponsored? You got sponsored, yeah.
I did, and we can leave that out. But
okay.
I was fortunate. I got really a lot of good people that took care of me, and I think I was, you know, again, I was super fortunate. When you say like being rich, man, I was rich with people around me that loved being around me, and I think I reciprocated that well with them. And yeah, I was sponsored by a bunch of companies.
Well, I think fortunate is another thing. You're good at what you did, and you fucking just did it, though, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And I think that those are the two things that make the difference in everything. Your whole world could have shifted, right?
Yep.
I mean, maybe if you didn't have the confidence that you had, like, bro, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, and
you know,
and
what made you think? What in you made you be like, bro, I can do this. I'm gonna go surf for a living.
I just told this to a couple of my younger paddlers, a lot of my junior paddlers that are kind of around. It's the truth. When somebody actually tells you you can be anything you want it to be, you really could. I mean, look at like all the things. Like it's true. You want to be a fighter pilot, you want to be that. You could be that. You want to be a lawyer, you can be that. Like, you know. So just in general, right? Like, really, when somebody tells you can be whatever you want to be, they might be saying it because they've heard that and it sounds like a cliche or whatever.
Yeah.
But really, you can be it. So for me, I was like, man, I could be whatever I wanted to be, and it was happening for me. Whatever I wanted to do, I could have done it. Like, I tell this to everybody. So my main job in my 20s, I ended up working at Outrigger Hotels at the Reef. I was a supervisor, manager, and I loved it there, and I was thriving. But I was in my 20s, and I was young, and I was competing, bodyboarding, and that was my life.
Yep.
But again, guys, like, this is part of being real and authentic. Was with all of that going on, in the back of my mind, there's something missing, right? There's something missing. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm 24, I'm like one of the younger managers here, I'm gonna be 25. Like, by then, people really think they have their life. And I had a good job, don't get me wrong, guys, I had a really good job. And at the same time, I was like missing something. I was like, there's something not, I don't know, I need to do more. So when everybody asked me, what did I do at that time? I went through 3 years where I applied for the FBI, I applied for the police department, the sheriff's department. Everyone knows this, and I told a bunch of my really close friends, right? I took tests for all of them, right? HFD, all of that. I passed all the tests. I don't know what it is, but I had really good test scores, like on every single thing. I was always good at taking tests, I guess, from my education side. But I ended up getting into all of these programs, every single thing.
You got into every one of them.
Yeah, I got into every, and then the crazier part was I actually processed for almost all of them. I did like all the steps for all of them almost at the same. It was crazy. Everybody knows this. It was at the same time. I could have been an officer in the Coast Guard, right? I went and took the ASVAB. I had all these things, and it's crazy. I remember getting the score back. Everything was green. Like, I could have been everything except for like a 5-star something.
Wow.
And I was like 25 years old, right? I got the test scores back, and I was like, I jokingly, and my brother's probably gonna watch this, I jokingly was like, oh, what did you get on your score, right? And then I remember, like, he was like telling me, because my brother was in the reserves at the time, and then he just got into HPD. Okay. So the reason why I applied was my brother got into HPD.
Oh, I see.
And so my twin brother's with HPD, and he's been in for a little bit. So I actually went to the route, and I was like, oh man, the sheriff's department had really good openings, but so did the police department. And when I went to school for Chaminade, it was for adolescent psychology, and it was more or less geared around like human services, not human resources, to get it, human services, law and policy and things like that. So I was like, man, this is what I'm gonna do. And then it just for some reason, for those 2 years, man, I processed and everything. And at that age, and these are the things that really define you as a person. It's incidents like this where all of those choices could have altered my life in some way. Yep. I could have had really good jobs in every single one of them. I could have been an officer, right, in the Coast Guard. I could have done all of these things. I could be a police officer. Who knows where I would be in that? Sheriff's department. Who knows where I'd be in that? Maybe go to the FBI. Who knows, right? All of these things. There's people in my life that know this story already because I've had this conversation with them, but there definitely was something that just didn't make sense. And so when you say there's a purpose for you in life, none of those were my purpose, for sure. None of them were, because if they were, I would be doing it.
Right.
So what happens?
Yeah, what happens?
I literally had about 1 week to make a decision to those few positions.
Right.
They all came down literally to the month. It was insane. And I sat down, talked to my parents one day about it. talked to my brother, went back and forth, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna do any of them. Like I spent 2 years trying to process all this. I'm not gonna do any of them.
Okay, so you don't do any of them, Mike.
Yeah, I don't do any of them.
What?
I got into Hawaiian Airlines.
What is Hawaiian Airlines?
And I was like, oh, perfect job.
Because you can fly all over.
True, but Hawaiian Airlines fit everything that made sense for me. My schedule, so Hawaiian Airlines became the thing that said, whoa, one, I love the job. The company was great. Everything lined up. So I've been a flight attendant for the last 4 years, right? And a lot of the things that happen in the airlines with COVID and all that stuff, right? I mean, it just worked with my schedule. And guess what? It gave me the opportunity to still do all the things with paddling. And that's why I chose it. So
right there, guys, I want to highlight that, okay? I want to highlight that because you knew what you wanted.
I knew what I wanted.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could have, fire department, police department, in the military, right? But you knew what you wanted to do, which was paddling.
I just wanted to, I guess when you say there's that calling, that was it. Yeah, because I was actually doing what we're going to talk about. I was already like one manning, I was paddling, and there's only a handful of us doing V1, and I was like, you know what, like I was around it my whole life, growing up as a kid, like I'm in my 20s, I'm late in my 20s, I better get on this. Like I better, and then the crazy part was I better become good, and I better be good fast.
Yeah, but I want to point out something, okay? Because you said the cliche of you can be anything you want out there, right? We all know that. I know that for a fact too as well, everything that I've been through. But you also said something else, like, well, you didn't say it, but what I'd like to portray is whatever it is you want to do, like, what are you willing to give up? Though, right? Like, Micah, you gave up HPD, right? You gave up a pension, right? You gave up job security. You gave up all of those things, right? So I want to pose this question to you guys. You guys want to do something. You guys can do it, right? How bad do you want it, and what are you willing to sacrifice? Mike, I'm sure like I could like your friends or like even I didn't know you back then, but even finally like I would be like, bro, Mike, you sure, bro? Like you want to do that?
And you know what? Like the best part about all of that is it's been the best decision of my life, right? And that's I love that, and that's the part where you realize you can be good with yourself, because I mean all those jobs are great jobs, but it doesn't make me as happy as it does. Like I said, leaving today, I just was around paddling for 6 hours. Happiest I've been. It's like that. It's as simple as that.
And one thing I didn't hear you say when I seen you is like, bro, I'm tired. Nah, you never even say that, Mike. You've been paddling all day today, bro. That's
no, and I think that's the part of the testament side of things is when you say like just like that. Why did you do it? And I said, you know what, like, I can live with myself. I can live with my decision that I made and be authentic. Be okay with it. Be okay with it. Be myself. This is the only thing that allows me to really be myself. But guess what? The thing about choosing this over a lot of the other things, and the crazy part is, like, again, I'm not getting paid to do this, right? I'm not getting paid to be a race director for the Aloha Aito. I'm doing it. It's a non-profit, guys. Like, this is a non-profit. And I'm doing it to serve the community, right? And that's what like I said, the rich side of it is there's other things that come with this, and we're gonna get into it. There's a whole world that actually ended up, all the pieces just started falling into place. So when you actually say, like, when you actually find a purpose in your life, and you're gonna hear this. If you're a young kid watching this, you're gonna hear it for the rest of your life. You're gonna hear it, bro. You're gonna hear this until you become an adult. When you become an adult, sometimes people don't actually figure out what they want to be in life. Sometimes you end up in what we call the rat race, and so by heart, right? By heart, everyone knows I'm an entrepreneur, right? And so the reason why I got invited probably to give this talk or be a part of this podcast is giving people that understanding that it's okay to not know what you want to be, but the moment you find the purpose, and like I said, I found that when I realized I come from a family that has a dying legacy. of canoe builders and being around that world. And if I don't learn it now, and it's still a factor because I haven't been able to immerse myself completely into canoe building. I've been around it. I have the best mentor you can ever have, but things still have to line up.
Yep.
Even in the end run, things still have to line up, and you still have to make a living. You still have to go through the daily struggles in life with everything. But if you're watching and you're young, you definitely can be whatever you want to be. It might take some time. It might take some growth of experiences, right? You might need to move away to figure that out,
or apply to 3 different places and find out you don't want to do none of them.
Get into all of them and then just say, you know what? I just want to paddle. You can put that on the front, right? Yeah. Like on the front of the thing. Bro.
No, Mike. I think what you said is right, though. I mean, whether you're young or even if you're older, but you said something here too as well, like, because I believe in it too. I believe in. If you guys really want to do something, you guys got to know what you're going to sacrifice, what it's going to take, right? And 5 years from now, if you look back, you think you'd still want to do it. I don't know, Mike's. I'm saying that because that's what I think. That's how I am. Because
but we're doing it right now. We're on year 10 for Aloha Aito. I've been doing this now, right? Going on the 10th year, and like you said,
still love it, though, right?
This is my life, and I. Like you said, you thrive in that type of world, and I'll share with everybody in the future a little bit more as we get through this podcast. But things start lining up. The moment the purpose becomes live, things start falling into place.
And that's what's happening here with Hawaii entrepreneurs. 100%. I'm telling you right now.
100%.
I met Mike's through my brother because he's an entrepreneur. I'm like, hey, go meet my Michael. You can meet my brother. He has this thing called Hawaii Entrepreneurs, right? So it just falls in, and like I've known you for a while now, and it's continuing. But you also said something else, right? You mentioned you had a mentor, right, by you, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I honestly believe you need a mentor. You need somebody that's been there, that's done it, and that's currently doing it, right? Because if they're doing all those 3 things and they have the Aloha spirit, you're not gonna fail.
No, you're not gonna fail.
You're not gonna fail.
Right.
So let's move on. Okay, last chapter, bro.
Yeah, last chapter. Aloha Aito 6.
Because there's gonna be more chapters after this, but this is Aloha Aito number 6, bro. Tell me first, Michael, Aloha Aito, what does that mean? We all know what Aloha means. Why Aloha Aito? What does that mean, bro?
Yeah, so just Aito in general, it comes from the Tahitian. The Tahitian meaning is like warrior. So in Hawaii we say kaika, right? Warrior.
Kaika warrior,
right? But then Aito is like the warrior. So the Aloha Aito was just in general. Te Aito is a big rudderless V1 race that happens in.
Wait, this is a different race you're talking about.
In Tahiti.
What is it called again?
Te Aito.
Aito.
The Aito. So the warrior, right?
Ooh.
So Te Aito has been around for many of years in Tahiti, and
let's talk about Tahiti real quick, because in Tahiti, supposedly right now, actually, let's just be real. Right now, they run the show. They are the top of the sport. They have the best paddlers, and they are just dominating everything right now, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, and I'm super fortunate to have a really great relationship with a lot of Tahitian paddlers and family. As much as my own family. A lot of them are Hanai to us, Tahitians families. Bro. So Aloha Aito was created. It was actually created by none other than Uncle Christian Marston from the island of Kauai. He's from Tahiti, but he's my dad's Hanai brother. So just to give you a little bit of background, so the Aloha Aito was actually created and built and made on Kauai. And
the first one was in Kauai.
That's correct. The first
and what
one.
year was that, bro?
Oh man, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, right? So that's what, 2015?
Yeah.
2015. So we started on Kauai.
Yep. So it started in Kauai, and it kind of ended up moving to Oahu after the first year.
How come?
So V1 was kind of introduced.
Can you explain to everybody what V1 is for all the local people that don't know? Because I don't know, bro. I only know from you. What is V1?
So there's when it comes to paddling, there's many types of canoes that you can paddle nowadays. A lot of them are referred to as OC, so outrigger canoe. V just stands for Va'a. So, and W in Hawaiian is wa'a or
Right.
va'a, right? So V is just the va'a, and 1 would mean 1 man.
Okay.
V2 would be 2 man.
2 man.
V3, 3 man. V4, V6. There's usually not a V5. There's not too many.
Okay.
So when we refer to that, or you can refer to it as OC1.
Got
but
it.
in Hawaii, the most dominant and used vessel for canoe paddling is OC1, but it's a rudder. It has a rudder on the back end, and it allows
Rudder.
you to steer with
Okay,
it.
yes. That's what I was just going to
So
ask.
we refer to it just V1 or W1. So VAA1, it's rudderless. There is no rudder to this.
Got it.
And so it's always been expressed that way. It is of Tahitian descent.
Oh,
Meaning
wow.
the Tahitian racing style. So these rudderless one-man canoes are of Tahitian descent because that's what they do. They started racing these boats in
Wow.
Tahiti.
Okay.
But it didn't mean that we in Hawaii never had rudderless canoes. My dad was one of the first ones. He put together 2 front ends of a broken canoe, or actually he built it himself, right? he was one of the only ones. You go back into the 70s, he was the only one with a canoe on the Kailua beach, and all his cousins used to borrow it, and everybody would tell you that
Okay.
in that side. And and he just put it together. He glassed 2 things together, and he was using it right there, going to the Mokumanu and
Sick.
doing all that kind of stuff. And anyway, but Aloha Aito was created on Kauai by Uncle Christian Marston and his family. And then he reached out to my father. My dad we were all kind of out of paddling for a while, and then he basically just said, okay, it's time. It's time for you to just...
Love that.
It's time.
It's time. When Uncle says it's time, bro.
Yeah.
It's time.
And Uncle Christian and my dad they're like Hanai brothers, right? He used to live on Oahu part-time and would stay with my parents and my
nice.
family, and their family is in Hanalei. So if you guys go to Kauai, you guys can go Tahiti Nui. It's a famous bar in Hanalei.
Oh, yeah?
And go check it out, and you guys can go look it up. So go to Tahiti Nui on Instagram and go check it out. They got live music every weekend.
Go
some
check
shit
them
they-
out. Go check them out. Got the local roots over there,
Oh,
and,
if you-
and they're from the beginning, right?
They're from. Oh man, the atmosphere there is awesome. It's unreal.
Let's go support our local people,
Yeah,
bro. Go check them out.
Go to Tahiti Nui and
give them a plug.
and tell them we sent you over there to go check it out.
Yeah.
Go
Let
get
them know.
go get some good treatment in Kauai. So.
Love it.
But Aloha Aito was the reason why the Aloha Aito was created, and if you guys have heard any of our talks before in our previous post on our Instagram, it was created by Uncle Christian, and his whole goal behind that was to kind of promote, because he was living in Hawaii, right, and he wanted to see more. I think he wanted to see a little bit more pride in our paddling, and I agree. I think it was there's pride there, but I think we were losing steam, if you will. And the one way to realize, I think, to get us to wake up was to
Make an event.
Yeah,
Start an event.
We'll start a rudderless event and challenge ourselves, because I think we got comfortable maybe too comfortable. And if we wanted to beat the Tahitians, this is going to be the way. And it's not to say to copy them. It was, man, they were, like you said, they're the best of the best.
Dominating.
And if you don't learn this, man, good luck trying to beat them, because they've been beating you now for 11 years straight, kind of thing.
Oh, for real?
Well, you got to figure it, right?
Oh, bro.
If you start really looking at the history of, for example, we use Molokai as the race of all races.
The Molokai channel race.
Yeah, I think the last one was 2004 or something like
By
that.
us?
By us. It was by Lani Kai.
Bro.
And it's
Let's step up, local people. We gotta get that back. That's too
but-
long,
but,
bro.
No, but you know what? But I think with all of the things happening in the revitalization of canoe paddling and racing, and again, it's just we just that Aloha Aito was just created as a way to kind of expose what was happening in Tahiti. These guys are racing rudderless canoes. I mean, when it came to Oahu, the second year, which is gotta be what now, 2000 and I would say 12ish, 2013, and then going into 2014, 15. So right around that time, the boats were coming in, these one-mans, rudderless one-mans.
Okay.
And when Uncle Christian called up my dad and said, okay, it's time, he got together a handful of canoes, put them on a trailer, brought them to my dad's house, and then said, okay, take your boys and go learn.
Like that?
Like that.
Holy.
And he basically told my dad, you know what you're doing? Go take your boys. And so me, my brothers, a few of my cousins, we were just going down to Sand Island and paddling V1s. And I mean, for me, I was a fish already. I was coming out of bodyboarding, and for me, I was so connected already. And once I got on one, I didn't paddle anything else, just V1.
Yeah.
And man, I loved it, and that was it. That's how it all began, in a sense. And then he just told me and told my dad, like, okay, let's have a race here and figure it out. So that's how Aloha Aito got brought here. There was V1s here on the island, and you know, my dad mastermind everything and said, okay, I need trailers. Okay, we're gonna figure out the permitting. We're gonna, you know, do this, do that. So we started with my parents and my brothers and sisters and my nieces and nephews. That's it.
Started as Ohana, and now this thing is blasting off, Micah.
Yeah,
this thing is...
It's unreal.
It's ridiculous now. And Micah told me about this a few years ago, and he's like, brah, Kili, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. You know, and I'm like, brah, I don't even know where to start. You know, I have no idea. But Micah put this on his back and has been stringing this together. And Mike, let's let them know, like, some of the things that you've been able to do and some of the people supporting you, because I think once people see the support that's coming out, like, you guys sitting there, we should just be supporting them some way, somehow. You know, even if it's just like
just
sponsoring a ticket.
Just
right?
show up.
Or just show up, bro. Yeah,
come.
you guys are gonna show up and you're gonna be like, bro, I need to go do something. So, Michael, right now, as it stands, how many people are, you know, how much of the Keiki is there? How much altogether? What are we expecting this year? What does it look like, bro?
Man, so this is Aloha Aito number 6, and you know, it's taken 10 years to get to this point, but as of right now, we are the biggest V1 event in Hawaii. And so the one man
largest in the state.
Yeah, and I think it, like we said, it's growing. Not just, you know, it's growing very organically, but now it's growing internationally. As anybody's gone last year, we had just over 200 entries, and again, that's a lot considering just a race that's happening in rudderless one man. And then this year we're estimating about 350 to 400 per day. By the way,
we're showing up, bro. Our people are showing up.
So now it's a 2-day event. We've opened this up to a 2-day event, and the reason why we started opening it up to a 2-day event is because, one, paddling is growing exponentially at this point. We're talking, we're talking anywhere between 60 to 100 keikis, which is, 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 under.
60 to 100 showing up, Mike.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is the reason why I think it's becoming much bigger is these kids are loving it. The parents are loving what the kids are doing. It's connecting a lot of the dots that we're missing, and we're connecting these dots with the people because, again, this is the original form of paddling. Rudderless paddling is the original form of paddling. You can't rely on a rudder. You can't rely on anybody else but yourself. And you want to become Uncle Christian says it all the time. You want to become a real paddler, a real canoe paddler.
That's the way, yeah.
This is the way it's going to teach you. So if you can get on a canoe, a rudderless canoe at 5 years old, 6 years old, by the time you're 12, you're going to be unreal. This canoe is going to teach you so much about you as a person, and it's gonna connect the dots. And we talk about that because it connects you to the past. It connects you to everything that's happened nowadays, and it's the most realist form of paddling.
I like that, and it gets your kids off the phones.
True that.
Off the technology. I mean, I'm always trying to make sure my kids stay off of that stuff, but gets you back to the islands. Mike's, how big is this one gonna be? Because we are going live.
Right.
We're going live. We're gonna be showcasing both days. 2 days gonna be showcasing, but not only here in Hawaii. This is going live
Yeah, so it's
around the world.
Yeah,
right?
it's going live on a few platforms. So we've been so it's grown in the last 10 years. It's growing huge. Anybody that's ever been a part of any type of races around the world, but in paddling in general, right? You're talking, on average, a small race might have, like a preseason for a canoe club might have, I don't know, 25 canoes times 6 people in the boat.
Right.
And you get your number, right? So we're looking at just individual paddlers there's 3 different courses for Aloha Aito. We have a Keiki course, which is just under 2 miles, and that's, give or take, that's about a 30 to 35 minute race for for these kids.
Bruh, for all you guys thinking that they can't do 2 miles, trust me, we can do it.
Yeah.
The Keiki, I seen them, bro.
They're awesome.
I seen them, and the Keikis come out. They're all stoked.
They're fired
They're
up.
all like, bro, like they let go again. Like
Yeah.
I was tripping out when they were going. I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah, and then we're looking at the short course, which again will have your under 16, your under 19, your novice entries, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70-year-olds. Our oldest paddler was 76 years old last year.
Bro. No excuses, guys. Get out there.
No excuses. And again, our youngest paddler was 7 years old. So, it's just growing. But again, that short course, we're probably expecting 150 and unknown.
Wow.
Because, right now I'm getting calls from so many people asking if the thing that we're having trouble with is now we're limited on canoes. The access to V1s, which is fine, but we definitely are working with people around the island because again,
out, yeah.
V1 is starting to really thrive in Hawaii. Everyone is starting to get one, and I say this in the nicest way. I love the fact, like, I'm a surfer, right? I come from the background of bodyboarding, surfing. I have 5 different types of boards.
Yeah,
and
fins, everything.
We talk about quivers, right? This is just another added vessel in the quiver. So you could have a surf ski, a kayak, a stand-up, an OC1, a 2-man, a 4-man, a 6-man. You got the whole quiver. V1 is just a quiver of the boards, but in its event all alone, we're looking again. That's just on that second event. And then the last event, which is our main event, we're looking at about anywhere between 12 and 14 miles.
Ooh.
Probably
How long does that take? How long does that take?
You're looking at upwards of 2 hours, maybe as much as if you're having a harder time, maybe 240 roughly. But yeah, you're looking at a good distance and things that we're talking about. So what does Aloha Aito bring? Okay, so we're bringing in about, and I don't say we're bringing in, there is people that have been racing with us now since maybe the 3rd one. Our 2nd one, we had a lot of Hawaii paddlers. By the 3rd one, we started getting some international travelers. So we had paddlers from Tahiti already starting to come because, man, this is their sport. Yeah. And it's being done in Hawaii. What other place do we have another beautiful weather like similar to Tahiti but the difference is our waters is different, the location is different. All of a sudden people started hearing about it. By the 4th one, we're like, okay, things are rolling. We went from the very first one, I think, had just over 20. Then when it moved to Oahu, it had about 80.
Wow. And
then it started progressing. It went from 80 to like 115, then 115 to 150, from 150 to 175. Now it's 250, now it's at 350. And so the progress is where it's going. So now we're looking at about targeting 400 racers. You kind of can see where this is going. It's becoming, and because V1 or rudderless is internationally known, you're getting the interest from Tahiti, Canada, Brazil, all of the states now. So United States, it's crazy. There's a lot more V1 paddlers in California than you would think.
How's that, guys? Why is that happening? Let's get up. Let's stand up,
And
bro.
the reason why it's happening is people are enjoying the opportunity to get on something like this.
Yeah.
And then, even in Brazil, it's taken off in Brazil.
That's crazy. So this is still early. We're still early.
We're in infant stages right now.
Infant stages,
and when I look at this and you ask me where is this going?
Yeah.
This is going to the community. So when you ask where this is going, this is for the community. It's giving back to, and we always every year whether it's honoring somebody or that's still alive or in the past, it's a chance for us to really honor everything that canoe paddling embodies, and that's really what it's doing. So when you ask me, who's supporting? I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I don't want to miss anyone, but it's as simple as saying, Duke's Waikiki has been with us since our very first race on Oahu.
What are they doing to help you guys, Mike?
Man, Duke's is unreal. The very first time I went out and I was like, man, okay, we're gonna have maybe like 50 racers. Like, okay, what do we need for them? Like, we're talking t-shirts, race decals, food, water, escort boats, medals, porta potties at the location, tents, tables, chairs. It's just
that list is huge,
bro. The
bro.
goal is to really have a really good event. And if you know my dad and you know my mom, I mean, they are never gonna just go half foot in.
Yep.
They're gonna go both feet in.
Make
and
sure
they're gonna,
everything is cherry.
Man, I can't tell you, but it also, obviously all of it started out of pocket. It's still coming out of pocket, right? Everything it's not about again, nobody's really making money on this. This is out of pocket. This is for the community. It's for the people. It's for the paddlers. This is a chance for us to highlight these kids, man. Our focus has always been on kids, and because they are the future. They're the things that are gonna drive us to our next level, if you will. So we're talking, Dukes has been with us since day one. And then after it started growing, Tahiti Nui started helping us and sponsor. Pineapple Store Kauai started helping sponsor. Kupanaha Products jumped on and started to sponsor. And then people started seeing the event and just was like, we love this. So how do we help these kids? And then how do we help these novice? And how do we help these whoever?
Yep.
And so now we've got Nico's Pier 38 sponsoring. We've got Timmy Va'a. Ade Tahiti became probably the biggest sponsor for us overall, because they started helping us provide canoes. So they were sending a shipment to Hawaii and to promote V1, but man, just to make sure the event went great, they allowed us. They
sponsored you guys the canoes for the event, for the people.
Well, they sponsored 15 canoes to help provide.
Yeah, 15.
And you're talking, these canoes are not cheap.
Yeah,
canoes are pretty pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a $4,000 canoe. You do the math. You're talking like 80 grand in equipment. So 80,000 in equipment, and that's a huge opportunity for people to paddle. I mean, after we did help distribute them, and people started buying them at a discounted price, but the fact that they fronted it all from the beginning is, I mean, where can you go in the world that some company is gonna say, go use all this for your race?
Bro, that's crazy.
Anyway, so Duke's Waikiki, day one. Then it started just progressing. Like I said, Tahiti Nui stepped in.
The dots are connecting.
Ama Va'a come in, and then Kupanaha Products stepped in. Timmy Va'a provided some donation to cover like t-shirts. But then Duke's stepped up again, the 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, now 6th year.
That's awesome,
Duke's
bro.
handles all of our food. They give back to all of our paddlers. They help cover some of our costs. So race t-shirts and decals. I mean, man, if it wasn't for them supporting a community of paddlers, I mean, we're talking about people that just enjoy paddling now,
right?
And they're supporting us for that. But when they come and they see an event where you see 60, 70 kids, man, and do what they're doing, it's nothing like you've ever seen. It's amazing.
Well, I think it comes down to being a part of what we are about, guys. Right. Without the canoes, we are nobody.
No, we're nothing.
We are nothing, right? So these guys are stepping up. You guys heard the people that Mike just announced, and I'm just gonna say, guys, come. If you guys can't donate and sponsor, that's fine. Come to the event.
Yeah, just come.
You guys are gonna come. You guys are gonna see. And when I went last year, Mike, so I was like, brah, I told Darren, we need to do more, bro. We need to do more.
No, and we appreciate it. It's people like you that come and see that and kind of realize, man, there's this whole world out there.
It's a whole world.
And that, like I said, you're gonna feel it. You feel the energy. You feel what it is. I mean, it's amazing.
You mentioned it before, like being a part of the community, but not only that, all these people that want to be a part of the community, that are a part of the Va'a, like at least they're gonna respect our land, right? I mean, we all can complain, like we don't want them here. You said it, right?
Yeah.
But bruh, they have a deeper understanding of what it's about, and you come to that, it's gonna be like, it's a whole, for them, for you, for your family. I brought my kid, my daughter, my wife. They were just like stoked about it, man. And I just, you guys need to come check it out. If you guys can, come sponsor Michael. Where can they find you, bro?
Oh man, so just in general, again, you guys can.
Let's do this. What are you looking for? What else do you need, bro?
No, so
what do you need?
Really, our goal is always to support all of our paddlers. Now that day one is kind of considered the one-man event, we've opened it up to 2 days, and our second day is sponsored by none other than Keiko Capital. Keiko Capital. So when you say like, what do we need? Keiko Capital stepped in and said that, what do you need? And we're like, hey, we need safety, so our escort boats, right? So we need to pay those escort fees. So there's permitting that needs to be done. I mean, there's a plethora of things, but we're talking about, okay, how do we make this event? So we want the racers to have a good experience, and to bring an event to the community. Again, we're serving the community. So to do this, okay, what do you need? Well, we want to honor them. So medals, t-shirts, race decals, you name it, race bands, and even like awards at the end, right? So we do our best to really these athletes are doing an amazing job to race, but we want them to feel, man, like this is the best race they could ever go to. So to grow that, we've reached out to a lot of the community, and we got a lot of response just like this. But Keiko Capital stepped in and said, hey, we can help sponsor day 2.
Props to Keiko Capital. Thanks, guys.
And so day 2 is covered, and that's an all unlimited canoe race. This is a 6-man race on day 2 now. And I will add this. There's not too many races that you can go to on Hawaii or in Oahu in general, and actually race against the best racers in the world. We're talking like the top paddlers, ranked paddlers in the world. We're talking about your number 1, 2, 3, or 4 paddler in Tahiti is coming to Hawaii to race.
Let's show up, guys.
And it's been happening, and now we're getting their juniors coming. You're talking about they're 16 and under, they're 14 and under. Now they're coming. And they want to race too, because you know what? This is their sport. But they still dominate. But I'm telling you right now, I mean,
we're coming. Are we coming, Michael?
The amount of camaraderie that's happening between countries and just the VOL community. I mean, everyone is stoked, right? There's a lot of pride coming out of each country. I mean, you're talking about some of the paddlers from Brazil. A couple paddlers from Brazil, they're coming in. They're top paddlers from their country, and they're gonna come and race here in Hawaii because they want to represent. And then we got paddlers from Canada that are coming, and they want to represent. I mean, the coolest thing to have that, and where can you go where you can race the best in the world? I mean, not everybody can, we're not rich, right? So not everybody can go to Tahiti to race. I mean, it does. It costs a lot of money to go to other parts of the world to race. And they're coming right here in our backyard.
Look, Michael Kalama is bringing them here. Let's show up. Let's show out. Let's show our pride.
You gotta love that.
And let's compete, bro.
You gotta love that.
That is, dude.
I mean, that's as good as you're gonna have it. If you can't go there, they're gonna be here. So like those that are taking this sport to a different level and they wanna be the best, that's amazing. That's a great thing. But there's also the part where we were just talking about it maybe 10 minutes ago. Everyone can do this. You can be in your 70s and still do this to this day. That's one of the coolest things about paddling is it's such a healthy lifestyle. And I say that in the most respectful way. I'm not saying like talking about eating healthy. I'm saying healthy because one, it's not just a physical aspect. It's being around this type of community. It's healthy for you. You get out, you laugh, you enjoy, you smile. There's music, there's food, there's entertainment. There's you get to meet people from all over the world. So this event has now become pretty much internationally sought. So how to help us? One, I say if you're a part of any community, come and support that. Just be here and witness it. That's one way to support.
That's the first thing you guys gotta do. Get your guy, come out.
To me, come out. So March 8th and 9th, Sand Island, Oahu. We refer to it as Mauliola. That's its Hawaiian originated name. Come down, check it out. It's we usually will be there. Setup time is at 7 a.m. or 6:30 for most, but 7 a.m. The race start is 8:30 for the kids on Saturday. Then we kind of time it after that. So Keiki, short, long. Then we have a run from Hawaii Kai. It's one of the best runs that you can have for a 6-man. Everybody that's on Oahu knows it's a downwind run. It's great time, good surf, good energy. And if it doesn't have it, it's okay. The best scenery, you come across Waikiki, go inside, Diamond Head, Waikiki, and then home, right?
That's
what a cool venue. And the reason why we opened it up to day 2 is we wanted to make it worthwhile for these international
people coming
travel. I mean, you're coming to Hawaii, you're spending all this money. I would, and I don't say that in to downgrade any race, but if you come to a race and you only race for 30 minutes and then you fly home, is it really worth it? It can be. But we want to make it worth everyone's while. And even for the people here, you got to appreciate the fact that if you love paddling, and let's just say you don't V1, that's okay. You can 6-man, day 2, and everybody can paddle with 5 other guys and pull you around.
And catch all the views and be stoked about it.
Yeah, so, when you tell me where the vision is going, Aloha Aitoa is becoming... I think it's one of the best races to be a part of. I think it's the amount of realness that comes from it, second to none. I mean, we're gonna put on the best event that we can based on the conditions and situations that we're given. But other ways to help really is, you guys want to donate water, you want to I think about our paddlers, donating water. If there's a sunscreen company out there that want to donate sunscreen, if maybe hats,
some glasses for the Keikis,
things that obviously are helpful for us. You want to educate us, medical teams.
Oh, that'd be great, some medical.
Yeah, so I'm super fortunate, and I didn't get to mention, some of the other sponsors, but Evolve, Hawaii PT, Alex and her team is really awesome. She's a part of a medical team, and they stepped in and they're sponsoring and giving their time. And but if there is other ones, definitely the more the merrier, right? You can never have enough professionals there that can help support our paddlers. But a massage person wants to give massages or stretch out people, you can do that. Again, t-shirts, if you have a t-shirt company and you think you can support us, let us know. We'd love to work with you. And if this is something that aligns with you and you want to be a part of this, great. Like you said, hats, and again, we're talking all kinds of things. Water packs, there's people that want to carry water packs with them and they're racing 2 hours, right? Even nutrition. If there's somebody out there that is a part of a nutrition team and they want to provide something, great. These are things that I'm looking for and to help support. If not, if you can't do that and you want a monetary donation, 100%. We would love to support our paddlers. A part of any proceeds that we do make, so any profit that we do make goes right back into our nonprofit Rudderless program. And this goes back to our kids. So we're promoting, again, our future is going to a canoe building program.
Yep.
A lot of people know this, that I've talked about it before with other people, but what we really need is support on, I want to say, the department levels. We're talking state, DLNR, and I've created a really good relationship with a lot of the permitting side, and because to hold a race is not just, you can go to the beach and
it's not free though too,
no,
right?
It's not.
You gotta pay.
Yeah,
right?
You gotta pay.
Yeah.
It's not free to host an event or an event on the beach. There's a big process that happens, and you have to submit a permit, and depending on the location. So for example, I had to submit a state permit, DLNR permit, Department of Boating recreational permit, and a city and county permit. 4 different permits, and then on top of that, you have to have insurance for the race. So you have to insure the race, and it has to insure at a certain amount for all 4, right?
Yep.
And insure it as well as for the overall race itself. And then on top of that, you've got escort rescue boats that you need to accommodate.
Yep.
If you're at a certain location, you're using the venue, for example, Sand Island, the restrooms, because it can't accommodate more than 300 or 400 people, you got to bring in bathrooms. So if you own a sanitary business and you want to help me out, break down your sanitoys.
Look, guys, this is what this is about. Hawaii entrepreneurs, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
Connecting our local businesses with somebody doing something amazing.
Right.
So if you're a local business out there and you have some of these resources, right? You might not have a lot, but if you just have a couple things, bro.
You got like a you know, a F-250, and you know how to trailer canoes, things like that. You know, like, and because we need help bringing canoes to the location, and we're super fortunate. We reached out to a lot of the canoe paddling
and
community.
to get them ready, you got to get the trucks ready and all that.
But at the same time, you know, there is companies out there that want to support something like this, and we're all about it, you know. And the other thing is, now that we've opened it up and it's so international, we're talking about housing for Tahitians, Canadians, Brazilians.
Damn.
You know, people. I got people reaching out for me from Peru,
Wow.
New Zealand, you know, Australia. People.
Wow.
This race is amazing. Like you said, the amount of connection, and when we talk about Va'a, everybody's surrounded by water. Everybody that I mentioned, and they love this. And to come to Hawaii, and the one thing that I would say, even like this, if you're a musician and you want to play music, I mean, I've been able to connect with Hawaii entrepreneurs, and, you know, try to work with hotels and hold functions, and we want to give the experience and the connection, because there's one day you might travel and visit them. You might be in New
and you can
Zealand.
ask somebody for help, and you want to make sure you're getting to the right place, bro.
And you know, if we can do that for people here, it'll be reciprocated
100%. 100%.
And so the message with Aloha Aito, the message for Aloha Aito was as simple as, this is a community that is circling around canoe building, the legacy and the longevity of who we are as people.
Yes.
Simple.
This is so easy, Mike.
Simple.
Guys, let's support Micah. Let's support his mission. You guys have a business out there. Hit up Micah up. Micah, tell these guys again, bro. You know, let's. I think what you just said right there is a great wrap up to this.
Yeah.
You know, Hawaii entrepreneurs and what Micah's bringing to his vision to Aloha Aito is exactly the same thing. Bringing in like-minded people to help our community thrive. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
And you know what? You guys out there, donate something. Donate your time. Something small. Get one of these kids the entry fee to join. Mike's, they couldn't even do that.
No,
bro.
even that. Like, you know, you want to sponsor a junior, you know, or a couple of them, show up, and then we can, you know, that cover their cost to race. And you know, the cool thing about this community, right, is like you said, if we can just bring more people into the picture to support what's happening in, you know, our culture, man, it's only going to help us thrive as people.
The sky's the limit, bro. The sky's the limit. Mike's, I think these guys got the vision, bro, right here, bro. If not, we'll do a number 2. Actually, you know what? We will. After the Aloha Aito, let's bring you back.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then let's talk about like what happened.
Oh, for sure.
What's going on? What maybe some of the things you've learned too about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a handful of things to share, and the experiences, because I've learned a lot in this last 10 years, but being the 6th annual race, after running the last 4, I've learned a lot already, but it doesn't necessarily get easier.
No. And listen, I'm gonna bring Micah back, because if you would like to do something like this, whether it's with, you know, Va'a, or maybe it's something else, bro. You know,
any event planning that you need to
whenever
go to.
any events coming on, I'm telling you right now, the guy I call is Mike's right now. Like Micah, I'm like, bro, Mike's, what do you think about this? He's like, oh, this might happen. So listen. Reach out to Micah if you need some assistance in your event planning. Reach out to us. I can help you too as well.
Right.
But you know, 2 minds are always better. I believe that.
Let's do it.
But reach out to Micah if you guys need help with an event. If you guys want to donate your time, you know, get somebody's entry fee in here, or if you guys can help them out anyway. Micah, tell them one more time, bro. How can they reach you? Best way to get in contact with you, bro.
Best way to get in contact with me is go to our Instagram page, or it's under Rudderless Hawaii Va'a, or you can go and find us on our website at rudderlesshawaiiva'a.com. Pull it up, it'll give you a lot of the information. You can, you know, email me. It's got my contact information. Hopefully when we post this, you'll find all of that in the channel below. But realistically, you know, the only way I could say is, if you really want to meet me and you want to meet the founders of Rudderless
The
Hawaii
team,
Ba'a,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if you want to, you know, speak to, you know, my dad, my mom, Uncle Christian, any of those people that really have created a great future for a lot of our youth, they'll be there. So come to Staten Island, Mauliola on March 8th, 2025 and March 9th, 2025, either day. Come check it out, see the event, and man, we hope to see everybody there. It's going to be awesome.
March 8th, March 9th, be there. I'm going to be there.
And if you aren't going to be there, just tune in to Ocean Paddler TV.
That's right.
It'll probably be live on there. Usually their Facebook holds up longer, if not on the Instagram. And then I think we're going to end up doing a show from Ocean Paddler, and it'll
Sick.
be highlighted a little bit later. But man, we're just looking forward to connecting the dots. And even in that sense, if you like production and you want to be a part of something, hit us up.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Look, guys, go check out Micah. Be there March 8th, March 9th. Hawaii Entrepreneurs is all about connecting, collaborating, creating. Go check out Micah. Check out Hawaii Entrepreneurs. Let's go, guys. March 8th, March 9th. Let's do it. Mike, thanks for coming,
Yeah,
bro.
brother. Thank you, brother.